Hey everyone, RogueGold here, and today I wanted to just return to a good old regular discussion video. You know, over the past 2 weeks there's been a flurry of topics to cover, from Heartland to X-Defiant to leaks and Ubisoft Forward stuff, a lot. And so today, at the tail end of this little busy period, I wanted to settle back down and just discuss a fun little topic, that being what I would like to see from the next gear set rework in The Division 2. I think it's fair to say that the majority of us were pleasantly surprised, but surprised nonetheless, when we found out that a gear set rework was being included in a minor title update back in December, that of course being Striker in TU14. It still wasn't new content, but it was something new, and I think the buzz that caused should be indicative enough of how massive an impact this new content is going to have. Cough, cough. But anyway, it was included and met with mostly awesome reception. I personally find Striker to be immensely more viable and fun to use now than the old version was, which was practically useless after the 3-piece bonus. You know, it was too punishing, too inconsistent, but then the team went in, made it a DPS machine, and made it fun again. It begs the question of, what's next? There are plenty more sets in the game that aren't bad, per se, but they're all not that viable. They get outclassed pretty easily by some other gear sets or just brand combinations in general. Well, what if I told you that we already know what set is getting changed next? And what I want to talk about today is what we might see from that. If you go on over to our best friend of Twitter, expert game designer on The Division 2, Trick Dempsey, who I'm sure many of you will remember, she previously commented on some of the plans with the other gear sets moving forward. I've referenced these things multiple times on streams and whatnot, but these are the specific quotes that I'm pulling from when I do. You can see this first one is back from November, where she was replying to somebody saying, "I made some adjustments to Striker's battle gear, and I want to fix some of the issues with reliability of Negotiator's Dilemma at low frame rates and ongoing directive when grouped. System corruption is on my list to revisit as well, but I'm not sure how soon." So obviously there it's laid out what their general plans are in regards to gear sets, and she makes it pretty clear that while Negotiator's Dilemma and ongoing directive are likely planned to get some quality of life updates to make their current functionalities much more consistent and reliable, system corruption is probably the next to get changes on the scale of Strikers, where they're actually going in and changing the functionality to a degree. And then, just for context, there was this other tweet as well from about a month later, where she said, we're focusing on more on gear sets than underused talent. Striker's battle gear is getting the first update, but we're looking at more. The underperforming gear sets are doing the build game more harm than the lowest used talents. And so, obviously, while there are no timelines given, it seems like their plans around gear sets get firmed up over that preceding, time, and given the update's whole delay and whatnot, I'm pretty certain that we will see changes to Negotiators and Ongoing's reliability, as well as system corruption, some sort of rework at the launch of this new update. Now, with that out of the way, we come to the million-dollar question. What will the rework or set changes to system corruption actually look like? What will it bring? Well, that is what we are discussing today, my friends, and big shocker, I have my own proposition for what I would like to see done with the set, and so let's get into it. My guiding theory, I guess the mindset and topic, is this. As much as I enjoy the 4-piece of system corruption, it gives you a totally new functionality in your gameplay, which is unique and cool. The problem is that that's about to lose, 80% of its current worth, because I'd say a lot of system corruption's worth right now lies in the value of its novelty, right? Statistically, it's not the absolute best thing to run in PvP, and yes, this is a primarily PvP focused set, which is why I plan to mostly talk about that for this video. Its worth right now in PvP is that it's unique. You can legitimately catch some people off guard sometimes because of how infrequently people use it, and because it's still somewhat powerful and strong, people can get worth out of that. The problem is that with this new update, the specialization rework is going to introduce us to a brand new class of armor kits which were described as instant use kits that provide the user with some sort of benefit when activated, kind of similar to the system corruption gear set, which offers an instant use armor kit that provides a benefit when activated. And so, unless these new kits are widely underpowered or unusable, which I don't really see happening, then system corruption is about to offer you exactly what a specialization tree can, yet instead you have to sacrifice 4 gear pieces to get it. So that's a problem, and without knowing the full details about these new armor kits, I suspect that this is at least some of the motivation for Trick and the team to go in and make changes or rework the set, whatever wording you want to use. The question then becomes, how far do you want to stray from the original concept of medkit altering in order to retain this gear set's viability? Well, I think I have an idea that would keep it in line with the set's current identity as an armor kit affecting set, while also separating it from the new wave of armor kits we're going to be receiving, and also addressing a big issue that I've had and pointed out with PvP in The Division 2 for a long time. Seems like a good solution, potentially. Here it is. I think system corruption should be reworked into a set that focuses on preserving and resupplying your armor kits. Let me explain. For the longest time, one of the biggest challenges of going rogue in the DZ was the logistics. If you stayed rogue for long enough, got a manhunt, people kept coming after you, eventually you were just going to run out of ammo and armor kits. Now, every NPC and player kill has the chance to drop either of those, but eventually RNG just turns on you, and you find yourself in a fight with one clip of ammo left and no kits. Now, the devs fixed one half of this issue when they added, I don't know what update it was, but they added an ammo restock box to each of the 3 extractions in every DZ. So nowadays, if the team can coordinate it, you can all rotate or fall back to an extraction to resupply if you need to. At least the option is there. Now, to be fair, I wouldn't expect them to do the same thing with armor kits. That would be a bit unfair to have a kit restock box at every extraction. Teams would just fight around there and never die, and it would become pretty cheesy. However, to this day, I feel like we need some sort of solution. Some way to decrease the number of times where my group and I will have to, sacrifice one another every 20 minutes so we can respawn at a checkpoint, restock on kits, and come back out. Sure, that works, but it's a bit clunky and it's not a very immersive way to play. So what I propose is that System Corruption fills this role. It's about to use its uniqueness as a set, so why not turn it into something that can replenish and buff up both our existing armor kits as well as these new instant use ones that are about to be introduced. Here's my general idea. The 2 and 3 piece, maybe just some general buffs, like even just, 10% weapon damage and 5% total armor. I don't know on that one. I could probably be swayed either way. But for the 4 piece, here's what I have in mind. Make it so that every 2 player kills or every 10 NPC kills, so yes, this is more skewed towards PvP usage, but I wouldn't want to completely block it from PvE either. So every 2 player kills or every 10 NPC kills, you're guaranteed to have an armor kit drop off of their body. That provides a bit of consistency, whereas right now it's totally RNG. And then on every 5th player kill or every 25th NPC kill, you'll receive what I would consider armor kit special ammo. You know when you pick up fire bullets or shock bullets and it just loads into your current magazine and is active for your next 30 rounds fired? Well, imagine something similar for armor kits. Maybe it's a cyan blue color, and when you pick it up, regardless of how many armor kits you already have, it buffs up the very next one you're going to use. And it makes it so that when you use that armor kit, you gain a 10 to 15 second buff, giving you, 10% weapon damage, 10% bonus armor, 10% skill efficiency, 10% weapon handling, kind of similar to like a memento stack, just a decent buff across the board as you refill your armor, so you get that short extra window of power. And again, you'd get that special buff loaded into your inventory on every 5th kill or 25th for NPCs. And again, you're getting that constant flow of armor kits back into your inventory on every 2nd player kill or 10th NPC kill. I feel like that would be a pretty cool functionality of a set to have in the game, and it would be incredibly useful to have as an option and as a tool to counteract the armor kit shortage issues when you go into long manhunt runs. But if you prefer to hunt rogues instead, the set would obviously still work that way too. Let's also talk about some potential amplification talents. What I think would be cool is if the chest piece one would give you double benefit from the buffed armor kit. So when you get that one slotted in and you use it, it gives you 20% damage, 20% bonus armor, 20% skill efficiency, etc., etc. And then the backpack one, I would make it so that instead of receiving the buffed kit every 5 kills, you get it on every 3rd kill, making it much more central to the set's gameplay loop. Again, if you choose to use the backpack, and just upping the consistency overall. So yeah, guys, that about wraps up my pitch for the changes that I'd like to see happen to the System Corruption gear set. Given that, from our understanding, it's about to become a lot less unique and lose that novelty factor, I feel as though it needs to see some changes to ensure its relevance, and personally, I think an implementation like this would keep its identity, making it viable with both the new and old armor kits, and just make it a renewed and viable gear set as a whole. Thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed this video, and be sure to subscribe with notifications on to get updated every time I upload. Let me know your thoughts on this conversation surrounding System Corruption and gear sets in general. Do you agree with my proposition of a potential rework for this set? And what other sets do you think need to see changes in order to become more consistent, like what Trick mentioned with Negotiators and Ongoing, or just to be made more viable overall? So yeah, everybody, let me know your thoughts on that. As always, I will be very curious to hear what you all are thinking, and that is going to do it for me today. Once again, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and until the next one, guys, RogueGold out.